Hello there, and you're welcome to another edition of Flipchat on Flip TV. My name is Beyond Kukuli. I have a very important and, of course, one of my favorite, I would say, though younger, but I quite love what he's doing because I've followed his career. I have Omoni Madi Adikola Kuti with me today, and we're going to talk about his journey in life, music, and career. Today is going to be a very exceptional one because today we had Fela's birthday, and of course, yesterday too, Omoni Madi dropped his first ever single, Free Your Mind. It's going to be an interesting session with me. I'll be right back.
It's about when someone says free your mind, instinctively I think the first reaction is okay, decadence. Let's do as we like, behave as we like, no restrictions and no rules, break all the borders, carpe diem. But what I wrote it about You can't. So when you know, then you have a choice. Should I put into practice what I know? Should I care, or is ignorance bliss? Should I just pretend like? Because when you know, then to communicate with certain people. If I say to somebody like, "Do you really call yourself a proud Nigerian?" But this name that was given to you is the wife of the man that is known to have killed many of you. How do you take pride in being called a Nigerian? So how do you take pride in being called in Port Harcourt being named after a colonial secretary that you know is part of the covenant that we are facing? Somebody will say, it's too long, it's gone. But if I say your name, if somebody came to your house, murdered your family, raped your woman for generations and generations and generations, and then I named your house Maddie's house, wouldn't that be the first thing you change after you get your identity and your independence? So I don't feel we've even reached that stage yet.
Interesting. You were in the front line with your dad, since this NSARS movement started. What was it like?
I can't take credit for being on the front. What happened was, because I've been very much, what happened was we were supporting the protesters on the outside and we were hailing the march. So we were cheering and blah blah blah, and a few people recognized me because my dad wasn't outside at the time.
Oh,
So in the celebration, my brother Well, initially, it was not the plan. Initially, I was going to find like-minded musicians that would work on my album with me. But when I came back to Lagos, I started to practice a lot. So my schedule was I would start with the sorry I would start with the bass. I practice drums, I practice trumpet, I practice sax and piano.
I saw your Instagram. You play a lot of
Yes,
instruments.
I already play. I
Yeah.
dabble in a lot of instruments. So I was practicing everything, and I thought for my own personal
Relevant.
yeah and my own as a challenge that I can put to myself, and one day look back as an old man and think, oh, I did this.
Yeah, yeah.
What if I did the entire album
Wow.
by myself? That means I played the drums, percussion, vocals, backing vocals, guitar, bass, keyboard, piano, trumpet, everything. So I thought I could do it. So I wrote, as I was writing the music, there were some things I was not yet able to do efficiently. So I'd have to practice and then train for the recording. And we recorded everything, most of it in 16 days in Paris, in Studio Zama, where, which is, owned by Uncle Sodi, who recorded Fela, and
And played it
my
too.
dad as well,
Yeah.
and produced them. So it was sleepless nights. We were working from 10 a.m. to 2 a.m.
And
So where you distribute the load to like 14 people, with one person going from one instrument, it was so. But it was hell. But now I look back and I think I'm glad I did it. Because now when I hear the music and I'm hearing everything as it's delivered, whether you like it or not, I feel myself, and
contained
and I feel that it's doing exactly what
what
I
you.
intended it to do.
That takes you back to when Femi did Wonder Wonder.
Yes.
The notion then was that Fela had input.
Yeah, and he
Do
didn't.
you think Femi doesn't have any input to this?
Well, it depends on. So, in
Did he
terms of
write it?
no, so in inspiration, Fela did not write Wonder Wonder in any way.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but
Femi made it clear to everybody.
or anything,
But that was the notion.
or anything my dad
Yeah,
has
the
done.
bars there showed Fela's.
Nothing my dad has ever done has been
Yeah.
written by Fela. But we cannot deny that we are inspired
Yeah,
heavily by him, and of course he was inspired by the musicians that created his sound, high life jazz. So music is that. It's growth and it's development, it's change, it's exploration, it's creativity, it's artistry. So to say that in a way, everything I make today is kind of written by thousands of musicians that have existed before me, but nobody has ever written a note of my music. But for example, my dad, if you listen to him live, you can know that that bass guitar is his bass guitar, because that is what he wrote. The guitar is his, the horn, that horn line, that trumpet thing that does it, everything he writes is his. And Kuti'S, historically, even though we may not be famous for being instrumentalists, we have been composers. So JJ I felt I've had enough of this.
So that
I'd run on stage. I would run to the percussion and start playing on a live show in Europe. You know, so yeah, I've had a life, but all that is I know that is what makes me understand not to take it for granted, because a blessing is not can be abused, and I won't abuse it. And everything I've learned, I'll put it at the forefront of everything that I can learn.
yeah. I want you to talk more.
Myself live.
You know, you did that in your first time. Anyway.
Yeah, but very soon. And I know that whatever musicians I work with, and whoever wants to work with me, I know live, I'm sure we will even sound better than in the recording, I'm sure. Because to sound exactly like me, when you hear the album, everything is new. But there's beauty in difference. So when you hear that bassist and the drummer and everybody's a different person, all trying to create one harmonious thing, there's something special about that. So I think I'll definitely have a band, and I know that band will be great.
I want you to tell me about your feeling when you are on the same stage with your dad,
You know,
playing sax.
transcendent. It's no word can describe it.
Yeah.
No word can describe it. I don't even feel like I'm there. I'm just playing, and because what we're playing is intense, so it really feels like, I don't know. I've never been drunk and I've never been high, but I feel like what I feel at that moment of playing is the same thing, is the same level of high that people get when they actually smoke or drink or take narcotics, because I really don't feel like I'm myself. I feel like I'm in a different place and I'm communicating something from a different place. And my senses are heightened. Some things are dull, but some things are so heightened. And the force and pressure of, the circular breathing, holding the note for so long and then going on and on and then knowing that my dad is, it's not something I can describe. There's not one thing I can say to describe it. Yeah. It's
That's
special.
awesome. That's awesome. You had a very, very faint experience of Fela. You were
Yes.
quite young
Very young. I
when
don't even have
Fela.
any. I
Yeah,
don't have any memories.
I guess
He
no.
was. He was.
Yeah,
I was 2.5
yes, you
when
were
he
quite
passed.
young then. But from what you have read,
And
what you
what I've
heard,
heard from family as well.
meets
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
What kind of person do you think Fela was?
Very eccentric. Yeah,
That
very
describes
eccentric
him
person.
anyway. That
Yeah.
describes him.
Yeah. Very eccentric and eccentric in the way Nigeria needed it, because we needed to see that difference. We needed to see that conformity is not what we needed in the 70s and 80s. We needed to see that challenge, which is why he got a lot of heat for being different. So, a lot of us yell Fela's name now, but we know full well that that was not what was going on in the 80s and 70s. Being an associate of Fela could get you a lot of heat in society, whether you're his son, visiting houses, having girlfriends, acceptance from families. So now we are fortunate that posthumously he has been accepted wholly, but we cannot forget a lot of the challenges he faced from his own people and their refusal to see and fight with him at the time that he was here. So when he was here, and perhaps with him, maybe the fight
Meet. Bye.